Yo, yo, yo. Yep, I'm finally back. I'm sure everybody's interested in why I was gone for 8 months before finally making a ramble, and I'll probably explain that later in the video. But for now, I'll just start talking. And like last time, you don't have to really pay attention to the screen unless there's something interesting going on. I mean, right now I'm just fletching because I'm being lazy instead of multitasking. So if I recall correctly, in the last ramble, I said something like I think I just maxed, right? It was like August 2021, and I said, okay, I guess the next goal is solo Chambers of Zarek, and then get an F bow after rigor, obviously, Inferno Cape, Fosani, Corp, something like that, right? Unfortunately, basically none of that happened. I can just show you. Let's see, raids, chambers. Yes, I did some solos. I got like that, which is nothing, sadly. I was just brute forcing with Lance. I'll be real. I wasn't learning any proper method, and I'm here now at this bank because I do want to learn the proper method. And more importantly, there's nothing else in the game I can really do except for this. So I guess that sort of segues into what I was doing for the past 8 months. And it was mostly I wanted to take a break from the game after maxing. So I wasn't really playing. I was passively working on some 20 mils, like I said I would, I guess. Most notably, I did get 20 mil Herblore, which I guess is pretty surprising. It's a good one to get out early. When I maxed, actually, Herblore is one of the last skills I got to 99 because it's just, you have to plan so much to make sure you get everything right for it. But this time around, I didn't do it that way. I took a different route, a different approach, and I was being diligent about doing Chronos farm runs, herb runs, and contracts to make sure I stayed on top of everything. So yeah, I got like 7 mil farming XP or 6 mil farming XP, all from herbs, which is pretty ridiculous. I think I planted like 7,000 seeds or something. Although I planted those on Addis with Revive, not on Chronos. Chronos is just for the contracts. Anyway, yeah, so that got out of the way, and I got a ton of potions out of it. So 10,000 brews, 6.4k restores, 13k prayer potions, 7k stamps. That'll be a lifetime supply. That's why I'm not at Arty right now doing this. I just can't be asked to do more of it. Yeah, 3k super combats, 3.2k ranging potions, and I can make more of these whenever. I don't care right now. And then these are kind of useless. And actually, this is not all. I do have more. I just really couldn't be asked doing another 6 weeks of birdhouse runs just to finish this. And then this, I'd have to telegrab. And then, so yeah. So ultimately, I have like 5,000 ranging potions. You'll never run out of that. I'm just going to do 450, 500 Calcite Queen for this later and get this because I really don't want to telegrab. I hate it so much. And I finally finished off all of my amylase, Terramin. Let's see. Oh yeah, I ran out of tar from Zora, so whenever I go back, I'll get more. But yeah, so I mostly cleaned. Oh well, I don't know why that was there. Whatever. I can't be asked to make these into Fordos right now. Anyway, yeah. So I pretty much set here for 20 mil Herblore. I can do endless amounts of PVM, which, as you know, has been historical precedent. I won't actually do. But yeah, over the past 8 months, I was first doing this, and then after that, I was like, well, that was kind of fun. I had liquidated every single herb seed that I had, and then I really didn't want to do more of these. I already have the pet. There's no point for me to do these. So then I went and I liquidated my entire supply tabs, both of them actually. This one, I'll explain why these aren't done yet. But yeah, I liquidated everything here. I did, I did a ton of crafting, so I have 20 mil crafting now. I alked everything I had, literally everything I owned. All of these things, including all the gem conversion stuff. So that gave me 120 mil, which is really nice. It was actually it was more than that. It was 130 something mil, but I had to use up all of my logs and convert them into planks at the butler to get my construction up. Which, by the way, I'll show you how I did that. That was horrible. I'm never doing this again. Yeah, this minigame freaking sucks. It took me 5 weeks to finish the log for this, and I know I don't play a lot of day, obviously. I play maybe an hour or two these days. But it took me a long time, and I'll tell you how bad it is. This outfit, which in my opinion is just cosmetic, is worth as many points as this POH recolor. So I went for this because I like how it looks, or I thought I did, and it takes so long. But yeah, I mean, like if you go to the POH, using up mahogany planks is like whatever, like 10,000 an hour on double benches, whereas here it's like 500 an hour. It's actually like yeah, it's that much slower. Of course, you get more XP per plank, so it's not a fair comparison. It's like more like 1,500 traditional planks an hour, but it's still slower by a lot. So yeah, I can't imagine why anybody would do this when it's like 5 times slower. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what I was doing. I was like getting a bunch of 20 mils. I liquidated my entire bank out, except for these, because well, you can't. I don't have anything to match them with. Well, I mean, okay, but you can buy iron ore and make cannonballs. But what is that? Like 30 hours to like buy plus smelt, and then 50 hours to convert. What's the point? I have enough, and these will last for I don't know, Champion's Cape, and also the other thing, smoke double tests. Yeah. And I already have half of this done, if you remember from the last ramble. And then these, I could out them, but like, come on, I'm like, almost 30 mil magic XP. Like, there's no point. I'll keep them around in case Jags ever does anything. For example, that gold tiaras update, which was really broken for 5 hours. Like, I could have like totally capitalized and made like, I don't know, 8,000. So that's actually, it cuts into this by a little under 10%. That's solid. Yeah, so I'll keep on the eye out if this ever gets buffed. And then here, okay, so I converted almost everything like this. I did all my Scotizo, and then I blew a bunch of glass, and then okay, yeah, this is dead content. I'm never doing this. I did do it while I was maxing. I'm never doing it again, to clarify. And then these, okay, yeah, so I had held on to these because I wanted to check out this minigame. So I was waiting for Jagex to buff it, which they just did like 2 days ago. So now last week they had buffed all the pearls by 15%, and then this week they had buffed getting the outfit by another 15%. And I'll tell you right now, I did some testing, even without the outfit, it is broken, like actually broken. If you have max cape, and then like if you have diary cape, it's like, it's really fast. Like I was able to get 50 seconds per lap on the True Blood Altar with like no mini game, nothing, right? So if I had outfit plus pouch, that alone is 7.6k blood runes per hour. So yeah, it's actually worth making your own bloods if you care about that. And it's pretty good XP with Pyrrha, since I was getting just about 55k XP an hour. So it's like old ZMI, new ZMI is like 60k, 62k. So yeah, it's quite strong, right? And no delay or anything. It's really good. Of course, I have to grind for like 25 hours or 20 hours to get those outfit pouch, etc. So right now I only have the plug versions, like this thing. Yeah, but minigame looks really good. I'll probably do it at some point in the future. But right now, as you can see, I'm basically completely out of all things to do. That's why I'm here in Chambers of Xeric, because honestly, like, that's what I gotta do next. Come on, I really need this. And Chambers of Xeric is also a really good way to, like, rebuild all of your supplies. It'll build this tab in particular really well, and then also this tab. And maybe I'll do some Vorkath and Zora to build these tabs as well. Now, of course, it's all a maybe, I won't actually do it. Yeah, so besides those things, I did finish some other 20 mils. So for example, I didn't finish it. I'm like 2 hours or 3 hours away from finishing thieving. I just ran out of glass, so I didn't want to I can go to Pyramid Plunder, I guess. But yeah, I didn't really make much progress in agility. I got pretty close in construction. I'll use the planks from Chambers of Xeric to finish that off, because I'm done with the minigame. What else did I make? Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. So next I was going to do fletching. I just was going to do it during Sepulchre, basically. But you know what, it's fine. I'm being cheap here. I'm taking the cheap route. I'm not attaching like broad arrowheads, even though it's better. Although, if you plan to go for 50 mil instead of 20 mil, this is more efficient. Because I'm getting as much XP as possible first with these. And then I got pretty close on these. Oh, actually, hold on. Okay, so I had prepared drift nets. It turns out that you actually need 2 jute fibers. This is so AIDS, by the way. I don't know why I decided to do this. Shout out to Trisk for doing this for like 40 mil XP. I can't be asked. Anyway, you have to do this really complicated process to get these drift nets, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's like, like solid fish per XP. Like per hour, you get I don't know like 85k fishing XP, and then like 110 maybe 112k hunter XP, and you get 300 good food. So it's not bad overall. Like it's like not a bad method, I guess. It's not as good as some alternatives, but like if you want to, so in my case, it would help me finish 20 mil hunter. Most of this post 99 XP is just birdhouses and catching implings because I was matching my toad flax, obviously. So this would help me get 20 mil hunter, 20 mil fishing, 20 mil cooking, all simultaneously. So that's like really appealing for me because I don't like training them separately. So yeah, that's why I had prepared those. But I unfortunately misjudged the amount of jute you need by a factor of two, so I kind of burnt out from that. I'll do the other half after chambers, let's say, which means never. Okay, yeah, so those are the 20 mils. That's what I was working on for 8 months. Obviously, you can see that it's not very appealing from the gear perspective. Like, nothing really changed here. So what exactly was I doing, I guess? Like, I said I took a break from OSRS, and I was doing other things. Let me switch tabs really quickly. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything in the bank first, though. Nothing changed in this tab. This tab just became really buffed. I guess you could consider this like a bank scroll if you want to see what I have in my bank. This tab didn't change much. Maybe I lost some runes because I was using them all up on herb runs. I got some crystal shards, a few more cannonballs. Oh yeah, I converted all my jewelry, right? So this is for Corp. This is for lava runes, which unfortunately is dead content now. It's really unfortunate. I'll up them, why not? But if I don't want to out them, I could just do lavas. This is like 8 mil XP banked, and then it's like actually 12 mil if you use day out. So it's not bad. I won't do day out though, because you'll get Chambers of Xeric Essence. And the other thing is, sorry, I prefer to go this way. The other thing is, I guess, I kept telling everybody in the Iron Man Discord, I don't have any glories. I haven't used glories in 2 years. And that's true. I didn't think I had any, but actually it turns out that they were in this looting bag, and I guess they've been sitting there for months, and I didn't even know. So recently when I was cleaning out my bank, like yesterday, I found them, and I was like, oh, actually I have like 280 glories. Oops. Not like I use them. But yeah, it turns out that I have them. Yeah, this tab just got cleaner, I guess. Like, I started cleaning out stuff. Obviously, nobody plants these, and I use these for birdhouse runs. Could have used these too, but I was already done. I didn't want to do more. I could just burn these, honestly. I don't feel like doing another 2,000 birdhouse runs, or, sorry, 500 birdhouse runs, 2,000 logs. But, yeah, burning is also not that good either, so I don't know. This tab got empty, this tab got empty, this tab got empty. This tab is equally as useless as it used to be, just excess PVM uniques. I didn't get anything special. Although I'll note that like I've been saving up for 250 of these for like years, and I still don't have that many. Maybe these are rarer than the others. Let's check. Clues, because I really like that white phoenix, and I have the phoenix. Oh yeah, it is rarer. I mean, my sample size is not that big, but I mean, I guess it's within reason. But yeah, I've been a little unlucky on that. And it looks like I dropped them before the update that changed it. Sad. Okay, cool. And then finally the Alc tab, which was done. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's the bank. Right. So the bank hasn't changed at all, basically. And then my mentality hasn't changed at all. I'm obviously not going to do Chambers of Xeric, let's be real. But I want to. I'll try my best to learn it solo, to, do the right way, and then not get frustrated. Yeah. So maybe that'll be my next video, like Olm or something. Deathless. It's a good goal, right? Deathless Olm. Okay, yeah, so what was I doing, right? Let me transition the scene. Yeah. This is what I was doing. So this is a guide that I wrote with another person, So Ironbra. He is a very well-known Iron Man in the high-level Discord. He's like rank 200 overall Iron Man or something, so yeah, pretty high up. And for context, I'm like rank 2200, so yeah, not that high up. You could say that this is like a guide in the style of Osiris V3 or Osiris V4. It's basically like an efficient Iron Man progression guide that starts at the very beginning, and it has like Osiris style text, like exactly what to do at every step, what items you need, how much GP you need, etc., etc. And the guide is 3 chapters long, so I'll go to the other chapters. But yeah, it covers like everything. It's like a full run through quest cape, setting yourself up for diary cape, and the paths diverge. Where basically we say the same thing as Osiris. You can do whatever you want in the game. You can go get your diary cape now, or you can go PVM, or you can max, or whatever you want. And basically, yeah, it's like a good way to like have a very solid overall account in like I don't know, maybe we could say like 1,000 hours. I don't know. I don't know how accurate 1,000 hours is. Maybe it's more like 200 hours. Sorry, 1,200 200 hours. Can you imagine? That would be so good, right? Yeah. In fact, let me just show you. Yeah. I mean, you can see this, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how good this picture is, but anyway, yeah. This is like the expected like finale if you followed the guide all the way through to the end. So not bad. Okay, I'm not going to go through this guide step by step right now because I think that warrants a whole nother video. I'll make a video on that, like a ramble style video, probably with Ironbro to give his input. But I'm just going to scroll through this really quickly. Chapter 1 is just unlocking a good moneymaker via Winter Tot, obviously. So I think like Winter Tot ends here, and then we have like these exact assumptions on like what items you got from there. You don't have to do too much. No 99. You can stop at 89. Same as ours. Actually, you can stop earlier too. Whenever you get 200k or 250k GP. And then we have you just do a bunch of stuff. We have a bunch of links. I don't want to say too many disparaging things about other guides, but I have to say that I do believe we're actually efficient, unlike some other guides like Vax or Cass RK. I don't really like their guides because I don't think AFKing Motherlode Mine to 99 is sufficient. Anyway, yeah, so this guide is pretty good. Like, in my opinion, we did a good job at like getting you a well-rounded account in a short amount of time. Of course, it's grindy, but Iron Man is always grindy, so it's like unavoidable. And most importantly, we focused on unlocking a good, efficient moneymaker. Some people are going to disagree, but honestly, like anything is better than agility pyramid. So yeah, we don't do agility pyramid. We don't do too much thieving. We don't do RD Knights. Yeah, it's unavoidable to do some amount of thieving, but like we don't do that much. The rest of it is more efficient money makers, like battle staves or sepulcher. So yeah, so the first chapter is just basically like a bunch of complicated work to like unlock the Arceus spellbook, and then eventually getting access to good farm runs, and then finally we have access to a good money maker, and we finally have Hand of the Sand so that we can access the Magic Guild for efficient runes. Then in chapter 2, we unlock Kingdom. We finish more and more quests, and it's like a bunch of complicated questing. When I was helping Ironbro write this guide, this chapter took me like 2 months to analyze and like provide like all these purple text. Basically, I provided. So it's like counting all the items and then the GP stacks. It's pretty complicated, and then we tried to keep it hardcore friendly, but realistically it's not really possible. Like nobody's gonna do this on hardcore, so you have to take some L's on hardcore, which is expected. Yeah, anyway, it took me 2 months to help him with this, but this chapter basically has you finished almost every single quest in the game. I guess this is updated as of like 2 weeks ago, so it doesn't include Land of the Goblins and Temple of the Eye or whatever those are called. But yeah, you finally finished Song of the Elves, so as a consequence of this, you have access to the Gauntlet, and more importantly, the Corrupted Gauntlet. So then we get to chapter 3, and there's this really long home stretch before you can finally do the Corrupted Gauntlet. So we have these like really big agility and crafting grinds because you need to get 93 crafting as an Osiris, and you also need to get a high agility level because that's the best moneymaker. And like the 40 mil GP you're going to get from agility really helps with early Slayer, and also it helps you get early magic levels. We're basically having you never Ice Burst. That's like a really big win of this guide. You are never going to use Ice Burst if you follow this guide all the way to the end. Always Ice Barrage. Which means you're going to have like 10 max hits right from the get-go at 50 Slayer. That's really strong. And you'll have access to Thralls, etc. We don't go out of our way for this. In my personal opinion, this is quite efficient. So finally, this is like the really aid step. And you know what? This is in the style of Osiris too. Like, oh yeah, casually get 98 agility. Smile. That's exactly how Osiris used to be like, oh yeah, get 99 thieving, smiley face. It's the same thing. You don't need to get 98, by the way. I think we mentioned somewhere. Where is this? Yeah, you only need like 93. if you skip kingdom, and that's fine. There's not going to be any issues with progressing. You'll just miss out on some small amount of XP, obviously, and later you'll have to come back and do it if you want to max, but if you don't want to max, it's totally fine. And then we have like setups for everything. I made like 200 pictures of everything, but yeah, I don't want to deal with that right now. I'll show this again, as I said, in another guide where I go through all of this step by step. Finally, we have you start working towards Quest Cape, and then 100 combat, and then finally starting 70 plus Slayer, I guess. So yeah, we have you do exactly the same as Osiris, catch chins, chuck the chins, and then finally Corrupted Gauntlet to get your F bow. So that's pretty strong. And then finally you finish up all the quests, right? So you use your F bow to finish off Vorkat and Galvek, etc. And then you use the money that you got from Sepulchre and Corrupted Gauntlet to finish off important elite diaries. You're going to finish Kandarin Elite and Lumbridge Elite. Those are really big for Herblore and Slayer, respectively. So this means at 50 Slayer, actually 70 Slayer, more realistically, 100 combat, you are going to have access to 6 block slots, which means every single Duradel task you do all the way until max is going to be really good, right? You're going to always have 6 block slots. That's really strong. And then, yeah, you can just, finally start gearing up, get your Dragon Pick, your Fire Cape. You can get the Fire Cape earlier, too. We tell you how to do it, but if you want to wait, you can totally do it. And then finally finish off a bunch of hard diaries, some elite diaries, and then 93 crafting, and max pool. So now you're at the point in the game where you can just do literally whatever you want. You have, as I said, over here, you have, where's the 73 Slayer, 100 combat, pretty much 2k total account. You can do literally whatever you want. If you want to max, here's how you max. If you don't want to max, you can PVM, and then we have a bunch of images on what to do at every step of PVM. I haven't, I don't want to go through this right now, but yeah. So that's pretty cool. This guide took like 6 months plus to work on. As I said, it's not that easy to write a guide like this. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I was working on. Okay. Now I did mention that there were some other hobbies. So recently I was checking out this game, which is similar to Western chess. It's called shogi. Let me transition scenes to show you that. I don't know how many people are going to care about this, so if you don't care about like interesting or obscure hobbies, you can just leave now, but I'll leave like a parting note at the end too. But this is basically what I've been doing for the last few months. Okay, so this might be unfamiliar with people who are acquainted with Western chess. This is called shogi. Shogi is Japanese chess. For people who don't know the history of chess, it started as, I believe, chaturanga in India, and it spread westward and eastward. So to the west, it spread and transmitted via Persia, Iran, as shatranj, and eventually to medieval Europe, where it slowly became the game we know now as Western chess. And to the east, it spread during the rise of Buddhism in the 6th and 7th centuries in the Common Era. So it spread, you could say, with like King Ashoka, as it probably through China, then eventually to Japan. I assume during the Tang Dynasty, when Japan modeled much of its society after China's. That's just my assumption, though. You should fact check me on that. Anyway, not that anybody cares about the history of the game. Because sculpting was, I don't know, expensive or something. Typically these were made out of wood, and I assume before wood, bamboo, with like inkstones. So they're 2-dimensional pieces as opposed to chess where you see 3-dimensional pieces. I mean, everything is 3-dimensional obviously, but I'm saying like they're sort of flat, exactly as shown in the board here. And they have writing on them. So if you can't read Japanese, then I think there's like an international version, but I don't like to use that because all the literature explaining this is in Japanese. Now, actually, as it happens, I can't read Japanese either. I can read Chinese though. It's like jiao, like this is horn, this is fei, like rook, flying, xiang. These are silver and gold, yin, jin, wang. Gui. So these are just like, I know them in Chinese, but I don't actually know what they're called in Japanese. This one is like isha in Japanese, like, because I know like rook is like furibisha if it goes this way, which is like swinging rook. Anyway, who cares? So I'll just walk through a game just so people are interested. It's very different from Western chess because the structure of the pieces are very different. And if you like what you see, let me know in the comments. I was thinking about making a video series with my friend who coincidentally is also a maxed player on OSRS. But yeah, make a video series explaining how to play the game and then various strategies. So far, we haven't been taking this too seriously, but I really think that this could be a different angle for this channel if people are interested. And if you're not interested, you can just let me know and I won't make the videos. Excuse me. In this game, I was playing as Gote. Gote means it's like second player. It's not really what it means, but it's like white. In Japanese chess, black goes first, like in Go. Sente, first player. So my friend was Sente and I was Gote. In this video, in this game, I actually did end up winning. So this Kifu will show it from Sente's perspective as is customary. But I usually like to watch it from my perspective because I remember my moves better. Let's see, what did I even do here? So I think he must have started with something like pawn 7f, like a really standard opening, just because it opens up so much range. So you could say this is really similar to something like pawn e5 in Western chess, or pawn d5. It's like that. Like this would be like a similar move. It's just because like you kind of have to do that to open your pieces and have the right shape or position. So of course I just respond in kind. Now there's a bishop exchange available, but I think he's going to deny it by moving this pawn. He actually doesn't deny it, so I can always go for this, and I have the initiative move now for that. But I don't do that. I think I just block. I didn't. Okay, so I'm playing Furibisha, ranging rook. Looks like he's playing static rook. His rook is stationary here at Ibisha. But actually, by pushing this here, it looks like he's going to go for central file rook, Nakabisha. Let's see. So I'd probably defend like this. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he pushes this pawn up. So that's like in prep for this to go directly for the king. So I will probably respond in kind by anticipating this since I'm one move behind as Gote. Since I went second, I'll probably go like this. Exactly. So now he'll probably swing as well. But now he's one move behind because he could have done this first and then push the pawn to initiate the structure over me. And then I would do this. But since I'm one move ahead now, I'm not sure what I would do. Probably start castling. So yeah, I mean, I won't explain all the rules here. It's a freaking complicated ass game. But if I were to castle, for example, I would probably do something like, since my rook is already here, but it's not over here, I can't really castle on this side very nicely. If I castle on this side, I don't know what I would do. Maybe like Mino castle. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this kind of rules out Mino castle because you would bring the gold over here. This is maybe like left hand Mino or even Yagura castle. So he was probably going to respond in kind with the right hand Mino. I mean, we're both playing central rook. His bishop's here, my bishop's there. He can't really do a nice left hand Mino either, so I think he's going to go for right hand Mino. Yeah, exactly. I responded, okay. So actually, I mean, this could still be Yagura. I could like go like this. This is a good feint move. But I don't want to do this now and close the bishop diagonal because he can just drop like a knight or something and then remove and then drop again. Lance takes, drop again. That's not good. So if I do Yagura, I probably need to like open this up and then like do something like, oops. Whatever, this is a mess. Okay, yeah. But this could also be like Nakahara's castle or even Central House. I think it's sometimes called duck legs. I don't know why. He continues with Mino. Yeah, looking like Central House now. Last is this. However, this is here, so that's really annoying because there's no good way to get this out. Probably the best thing to do now is to do this, then this, then this, and then that. But that's really slow. So this is a mistake. When you have fifth file rook like this, you don't want to do that. Continues with Mino. I swing the rook as I said. Ooh, that was too fast. Sorry. Okay, swing the rook as I said. He continues with Mino. Again, he has the same problem as me. His central file rook is really destroying his castle. He can't swing this gold here, and I think ultimately this is what ends up being his demise. He keeps these pieces here even towards the end, as you'll see later in the Kifu. Excuse me. So I come up and I almost finish my central house. This silver is what's missing. So if I pull this forward, I have an attacking pose while having a defensive pose. central house is pretty defensive as a rule. All four of your generals are guarding the king, and then you have your pawn structure too. But that means you can't attack. Your major pieces need to do all of the attacking. So you'll see that how I turned this game around towards the end, it's actually not any fancy technique for me. I was definitely losing, and I think my opponent just blundered. So it looks like he's going for a silver. I don't think he's going to do this. I think he's just going to go for a climbing silver. Okay, yeah. So I'm anticipating the climbing silver, so I'm going to try to do this. This is actually a mistake. I should do this. However, I needed to move my rook out of the way so the silver could get into place. And I'm sure he saw this, so he probably pushed this. But he didn't. He's going for climbing silver. That's fine if he goes this route anyway. So I moved the rook as I anticipated. He continues with climbing silver. He probably doesn't want to go this way, but he wants to go this way. Okay, central house completed. And, oops, this can't go this way or this way because it's not a bishop, right? So I definitely want to go this way, which means this needs to come here. So he starts attacking. He's going to try to, flatten out the pawn structure. That's fine. If we do pawn trades, he'll be able to swing the rook in. So that's really bad. I notice I'm no longer playing opposing rook. This is pretty bad. Yeah, so I anticipated this climbing silver. Now his silver is blocked from climbing further. However, this is still a purely defensive game right now. Nobody's done any piece exchanges. So he starts with the kill. And I'm going to just take it. Or do I? I think a good response would be to do something like this to make sure that he can't push this pawn and get the initiative on me. So that's what I did. Now, if he takes, I actually can't take back. Oh, actually, I can. I can just do this. Never mind. So does he take? No, he moves his bishop up, presumably to make space for his rook, but I don't know why he would move his rook there. It's already attacking like this really well. So I bring the knight forward, and you'll actually see that this knight later plays a pretty good role. So we'll leave it there. He pushes the pawn, probably just like a slightly away from the edge, just like an attack. So I anticipate and I move forward more. This entire side of the board is like empty anyway, so why not? If he pushes once more, I take. If he pushes, I can just do this, for example, and then suddenly he has pressure. So that's bad. Excuse me. Okay, and he starts going in for the pawn trade here. If I take, he actually has no way to take back, so I will definitely take. But I didn't. I took this one instead. And if he takes and promotes, that's fine. I can just take it back. So he won't do that. He instead finally goes for the bishop exchange. As you can see, I have no way to do anything except take with the gold. If I take with the gold, I actually lose a lot of power in my defensive structure, so this is not good. But I have no choice, because otherwise it'd be down material. He's actually up a pawn, but that's fine. He has sent the advantage anyway. Okay, so now he drops the bishop back into play, forking the pawn and the gold. So obviously I'm going to defend the gold by swinging in like this, or do I? Actually, I don't. I block the diagonal instead. So by blocking the diagonal, he can just take this for free. However, I'm also advancing my knight. So he does take it for free, and he's attacking my knight now. However, it's actually protected extremely well, so he's not going to do that. Okay, I reinstate my castle. I think this is a fine move. However, it wastes one initiative, which is really bad, because this doesn't actually get him in initiatives. Now he could drop his pawn or the second bishop. Oh, actually, this is me, sorry. Yeah, so he pushes his pawn. If I take, that's fine. Again, he can't take this. So I could just take it. But instead, I drop a bishop to skewer his rook and his gold. So how's he going to defend? If he moves the silver, I can't take because his other silver is defending. Right? If he drops a pawn, I still can't take, same reasoning. Both silvers are defending. So either way, this is not actually a true skewer, but you'll see that this constant pressure is going to play a really big, important role in the end game. He drops the pawn as expected. He's reinforcing his Mino castle. Doesn't go for high Mino or anything because the whole structure is just messed up pretty much. Okay, so I go for the attack to do defender removal, right? However, he's smart here. He ruins his castle and puts the threat on the head of the bishop, the weak point. The bishop can't go here. Here it's dead. If it goes here, I'm trapping myself, right? He can just drop another piece. However, he has no other pieces. So if I go here, it's fine for now. If he comes here, it's all over for me. So he takes my pawn finally, because I didn't take. So this is actually pretty dangerous for me, because, as you'll see, I made a mistake here. I moved the knight out of the way. Now, This is actually like not a great move. As you'll see now, there's a mistake here. He threatens my knight, so now I'm forced to move this again. And if I go here, it's dead, and if I go there, it's dead. So the knight's dead. I'm just gonna leave it. So instead, I promote, forced by forcing him to take this. He's gonna either take like this or like this. He's probably gonna do this one because this one ruins his castle. So he does. And I do another defender removal using a pawn drop. This is really smart. Now, if he goes here, it's fine. If he goes here, it's not fine, right? Because I can just take. So he's either going to go here or he's just going to take the pawn for free. But as you'll see, he actually doesn't do that. He does this, which is really weird. I'm not sure what he was thinking here, but I can just take it for free. However, I'm not sure what I was thinking here, but I actually also didn't take it for free. Excuse me. So I did another defender removal. This time he can just take it and there's no repercussions. But he doesn't do it. He instead attacks the bishop and the bishop is dead. This is a really smart move here. You sack the silver, and if I take, he takes, but the bishop can't run anywhere. So instead, what I do here is I threaten, right? I have to find a way to threaten his king. However, I think there's something we both missed here. I can just take this with the knight. So I do. And I sack the knight, but it's fine because my bishop is alive. So now if my bishop takes again, we have the same skewer. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. So now his pieces in hand are exactly the same. He can drop another pawn right here and we can repeat the entire same thing. However, this time I think he's a bit smarter. He's probably just going to go here and simultaneously defend both golds while taking his rook out of attack. Exactly. So now he's safe. I can't actually take and promote. However, I thought a little bit ahead here and I was like, you know what? I'll sack the bishop. It's fine. I want the gold, so I could probably do a gold on the head. So I do it. I expected him to fully take this right now, and then I would probably do this and he'd be forced to take. But he didn't take. He instead dropped a knight to attack my rook, which is weird because I could just take his rook, I guess, and he could take my rook, but he could have just taken my rook, my bishop for free. So, or the horse for free. So I'm not sure why he went for this. Now this is actually a mistake from me. What's about to happen next? See, the problem here is if he's allowed to take this and promote, I'm in check. I mean, I have many options to take it, but I'm in check, which means I lose the initiative by being forced to respond. So this is a mistake. I was attacking the head of his bishop, thinking that this would remain unpromoted. However, because he gets to promote, he can actually just force me to do something with it and then move the bishop out of the way. So he gets the rook for free and gets to move the bishop out of the way. So that's exactly what he does. And I was like, oh shit, I completely missed that. I was actually about to resign here, but I thought if I could get just one more initiative, I could probably turn the game around and win. So I respond with the gold as a good way to defend. He checks again with a pawn, right? It's just a pawn. It's completely fine to sack it, so I'll just take it with the silver. Okay, that's fine. So he now finally takes the horse. So look at this position. It's really bad for me, right? He has all 4 major pieces. This is really bad. However, because he finally did this, I can take the bishop. But I don't. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what move is better here. This is forking these two. However, it's not actually a true fork. If he does this, it's a really good move. It simultaneously defends this square, and attacks the knight. So that's exactly what he does. Great move, right? As you saw, I responded by just taking the gold anyways. Now I have both of his golds, right? And I have 2 more. This is really great for the end game. So he responds in kind, and I finally take the bishop back. So actually, in material, it looks like I'm actually pretty even here. Now, I'm down the initiative move, though. So what he does here is pretty big. He just takes and starts deleting my structure, right? So what's really bad here is that if I move my king in a really bad way, he can just drop the other rook in this back row, and it's all over for me. So I anticipate and I move my gold in to surround my king a little bit better so that I'm a little safer. Okay, he checks with the knight. That's fine. I can just take with the silver, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to move the king out of the way. And again, this is a mistake. If the king goes here, it's really bad. A rook drop right here is checkmate. King can't take because king can't go here because this is here, and king can't run. I guess actually I could block with the pieces, not checkmate, but it's bad. He has a bishop on top of that, so he can just completely wreck me. Okay, so this is definitely a mistake. This is also an equally bad mistake, and this is also a mistake. What really I should have done here, if you ask stockfish, is probably take like this, but I made a mistake. So right here, I firmly believed that my opponent could have won. However, they didn't make an initiative move. They didn't take an initiative move. Well, first they did this. So, yeah, as I said, I'm in the back row. I got checked. I should just block this like this, or, as I came up with, a diamond. So I borrowed this from the amino diamond structure. It's a really strong structure that defends me on this side extremely well against side attacks. And on this side, I'm completely vulnerable. So actually, if he like dropped like a bishop right here, I would have been dead. But I don't think he saw that. So instead, he took the lance for free. That's fine, but now I have the initiative. So what do? I can check him right here, for example. Now, what's really weird is actually he can just take this. It's completely free. I don't know what I was thinking, and in fact, I don't know what he was thinking too. This is a brinkmate. He walked right into this. Right here, gold on the belly, gold star 2H is checkmate. However, I didn't see it. So instead, I checked him like this, forcing him to block the diagonal because he can't go there. So he blocks the diagonal. That's fine. I was like, alright, I'll smother the king in, right? So now what? Now, drop a knight here. But again, this is still checkmate, the gold in the belly. So again, I drop the knight. Again, it's a mistake because, you know, for example, he could just take... Well, no, actually, he can't take because this is a pin. But he can take with the rook, which I think is what he ended up doing. Yeah. And finally, I saw this stupid mate, gold in the belly, which I could have done 5 moves ago. So this is, you know, it's just a misplay for my opponent, honestly, because I could have easily lost this game, especially if he had done some dangerous drops over here with his many pieces. Anyway, that's shogi. So if you were interested in like this gameplay, I'm sure like a lot of people were like surprised at like pieces being dropped back in. Let me know. Okay. Let's go back to OSRS, I guess. Here we are. Yeah, so just as a parting note, I guess, I will seriously actually try this out. Wow, my switches are so bad. Yeah, I'll try it out for real. I think Chambers of Zurich can be very rewarding once you get it down, and it teaches you a lot about mechanics that you wouldn't be able to pick up otherwise. So, I mean, I'm still learning, obviously, so I don't know what I'm doing, but, you know, I think this kind of gear setup should be fine. Blowpipe for now. How many amethyst darts do I even have? Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you back in a week, hopefully, with a deathless one. Of course.